Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do a daily technical analysis of uranium. Uranium is one of my favorite sectors. I think it's highly leveraged. It's very volatile. And I'll give you my financial opinion. And again, it's just my opinion. Do not take it as advice. Figure out what fits within your portfolio strategy. And if you see an opportunity, you know what I would do? I jump on it. I don't wait. But I still think we are in consolidation mode. What happens is we get these big moves up, and then it consolidates for a little bit. It almost, like, we call it digesting its gains or digesting the move. And we've had a massive move, and we got to digest it. And what we do is we usually do like what we call a back test or a retest. So I think what we're doing is we're retesting, back testing previous highs and digesting the gains. It does take a little bit of time. So don't be impatient here. Now's the time to be a professional and watch this stuff and be patient. Could this thing move quite substantially, a month from now, a couple weeks from now? It could. Very well could. So I like to remain calm. I like to look at the charts, see what we've got, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to get some big picture charting in here as well today. It's not just kind of zoomed in. So here we go. Let's jump in here, and I'll give you my financial opinion. So here's uranium. We've got the price here. It's been moving on up. And remember the sticky area in here. These guys in here that's coming across. We're coming back and doing a retest on it. So we came up to $50, and we're coming back to that 43, just this area right in here where we're coming up and getting some support. That's probably what we're doing. We're just retesting that breakout. Looking at URNM, I'll draw in the lines of the bigger picture here. And that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at that. I'm going to throw it down here. We've got this channel that we're going up in. We got the upper channel that we bonked our head on. We're like, hey, we're going to get out of here. Nope, I don't think so. We hit our head on this upper channel. We came back down. We're probably going to put in like this kind of a bowl-shaped pattern. I'll remember this is a weekly chart. So each candlestick's a week. And we're going to come back up, and we're probably maybe going to try to break out. Maybe we zigzag in the channel for a while. But this channel's been where we've been living so far. And we tried breaking through it. I mean, look at the volume trying to break through it, and we couldn't break it. So here's URNM on a daily candlestick basis. We're just basing out. I still think more sideways action is needed. And we're seeing that kind of, I think we're going to see a little bit of a down day tomorrow, more of a chopping sideways. And then we'll kind of create 3 little humps or something like that before moving on up. And we did the same thing over here. We came up, we sold off like this, and you could see that this movement is similar to this movement. And I think we're going to have to, and it doesn't mean that we're going to be slanted down. We could also go sideways for a little bit, where we just chop sideways for a little bit before moving on up. And we're seeing this kind of throughout all of the patterns here on the short term. Sideways movement is what I'm thinking. Now looking at next gen, let's throw in some trend lines, try to see what we can find here. I'm just going to throw in some stuff and see what I can do. There's like a, man, it's almost like this right here is the trend line. And then we got like this one that, looking at this here. And what we have to be careful of, I'm going to bring this up here, is we don't want this to tighten and squeeze up and then break to the downside. But we're looking at that. You can get a little bit of a tightening here. I'm just trying to see what we got. So we're tightening up a little bit, but not too bad. It's not too bad there. Here's Fission. Again, we're coming on down. We still are, I think, sideways, consolidating. Big picture view. I like the big picture view. I don't really even care about the short term as much. See, we got that breakout there. We came up. We broke out. We did like a breakout and a back test. This is like the perfect time to buy. It's right in this area here. And then we shot on higher, and I think we're probably gonna come back. We've got lots of, always look to your left. So when you see this, you always want to look to your left and see kind of where this resistance stuff, where the resistance is. We are the resistance. So right there is a lot of resistance. You can see that we hit it a bunch in here. And if you look down at the volume down here, whenever you've got a lot of resistance, and you can see there's even a greater resistance right here. So there's a couple of things here that I want to touch on. We had a lot of selling and buying through here with some volume. There's a lot of resistance, and this came up and hit that resistance before. It came back and created that U-shaped pattern that I talk about. It's almost like a cup and handle pattern. And here's your cup and your handle, basically. We broke to the upside, great volume, shot it higher. And now what we're doing is we're coming back and we're going to back test this region in here. We're basically, we broke out, we got tired, we're going to come back and rest. And I can't tell you if we're going to rest where the line is right now, or if it's a little bit higher like here. It could rest anywhere in this area. But I think we're going to come back and rest a little bit and move sideways, chop sideways, and then see another move higher after it. That's my guess. Here's Sky Harbor. I mean, again, we've got this line right here on the short term. I think we're going to move sideways, chopping action. And this is the big picture, the picture that I like to look at. I love the big picture, guys. That's where I thrive. But maybe we can kind of look here where we broke out and we're probably going to rest a little bit. It took a lot of buying pressure to break through this. And we're kind of going to maybe move sideways a little bit and then take a run at it later. Here's standard uranium. We've got a line coming through the top here. And I bet you we're back testing this. That's probably what we're going to do. Retest, back test of this breakout. So it breaks out and then comes back. And this might be as far as we get. Maybe we have another day where we come down here. I would say that, it's a pretty low risk area to buy on the back test down here at 24 cents. I think that's what it is, somewhere in there. Base load, again, we got some good resistance in here. Support resistance. Broke out, sold off a little bit, just trading back and forth. Volume is declining. I think we're getting closer to this pullback. Getting closer to the end of it. I'm not calling the end. We're just getting closer because we're seeing the volume die down here. And we're starting to create a little bit of a pattern. Here's Canalaska. Let's go to the big long term. I love the long term viewpoints because this is where the money's made. You don't make it on that short term stuff. And see that? What do we have here? We've got a line there, and what we're doing is we're coming up on it. We're coming up in it, hit it, and we're hitting our head on this. We're going for it. We're trying to hit through this. Now, here's a big thing. If you like Canalaska, I mean, when we break through this big pattern here, this downward trend line, we break through it, you might do a retest, and it's gonna be a big move. If we're in this big uranium bull market, which I believe we are in, you can see the volume on the right-hand side accumulating this stuff. We just have to break through this downtrend line and then be patient and just hold on. The lows, 2016 low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low somewhere in here. And then we're going to try to break through it. Cup and like this little U-shaped handle type pattern. It's coming, guys. It's coming. It looks good. UEXCF, bullish engulfing, little down day. We're chopping sideways before probably trying to move higher. Big long-term perspective. Let me see if I can see anything here for everyone. What I'm looking at is this. We've got this guy here, and we're hitting our head on it, hitting our head on it, hitting our head on it. We're breaking this line down is what we're doing, and our lows are stepping higher and higher into it. This is exactly what you want to see, and this is probably a good one. If you guys like UEXCF, when it breaks this line, it's probably going to run. I mean, be patient here. I'm not saying it's going to do it, immediately. But these are the companies that I continue to accumulate, are the ones that are held down by psychological containment, which is herd mentality, and it hits a certain spot and it sells off. When the market conditions are ripe and when they come around and uranium's higher, it's going to break and go. So it's about patience here. Money's made on these big long-term charts. Here's Bannerman. It is kind of slowing down. I think a little bit more consolidation, big picture view. The moneymaker view here, guys. This is what I like to look at. I see a line through there. That's where I got super excited. I saw this and it was down here. I was like, buy, 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 buy. I was going crazy because I wanted to buy it before the break. And now, let's see here. We've got some resistance through here, this guy, and we're coming up here. So see where this is over here. We've got, don't do that. Looks like we got some resistance through here previously. We came down, we're creating this big bull. We're probably going to put a little handle on this big, huge bull. This is like, I can't remember. It was a Chunky commercial, and that guy would be eating like a Campbell's Chunky soup. He was on a professional football player, and he's got a big soup bowl like this thing, and we're going to put a handle on this, and then we're going to launch. We're going to do a massive launch of from this bowl here. But this thing looks fantastic. I shouldn't be looking at this. It's going to make me buy a lot more Bannerman, which I already have a lot of. So that one looks good. Here's deep yellow. We're coming back and we're hitting these highs again. We're still consolidating. I don't have a long-term picture on deep yellow, but it does look good. Forces Metals. This guy, guys, I like all these stocks. They all look ridiculously good on the long term. Here's that guy. I'll throw another one underneath it. It's kind of this like megaphone type pattern here. I'm just kind of drawing it in there. So here's the megaphone. We broke out. We're back testing. I mean, this is a good spot right here if you like forces, because you buy the back test. That's what I've learned. The volume's declining here. I think we're probably maybe a little bit longer. Here's the big picture view. I call this the money shot for anybody who likes trading equities and stocks. But there you are right there. You know, we've got a little bit of resistance. Looks like, you know, we've got this like cup and handle forming. And if you want to do a price projection on this, you go to the bottom, you go to this top, and we're on a log chart. And then you go up here, and that's your projected move. It's off the chart. And these big charts like this, it's going to take time to do this. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm not telling anyone on this channel that the projected move of, I don't know what that is, massively higher than where it is today, is going to happen in 30 days. It doesn't work like that. Your time frame is off. What's going to happen is you're going to be patient. You're going to accumulate. We know that we're right here on a back test. Low risk spot, I think. I mean, it could break down and go back down below it, but I think there's probably some good support here. And we got this massive cup and handle pattern. I mean, this looks like the big cup and handle patterns on oil and gas. And guys, when you see these patterns, they don't form for no reason. They form because they want to be Hulk and break out of this pattern and do Hulk-like things at cheetah speeds, because this is going to be a big move. And it could take, you know, as long as this move came down, and it was 09 to 20, it could take a couple, 2-3 years for this to move up. And maybe it goes faster than that. But think 2-3 year time frame at least. The volume's kicking in on the right-hand side here. We know what's up. Everyone on this channel, if you're watching this, you know what's up. You know that this is going to break, and it's going to take some time, and we're going to be partying after this thing breaks. But that looks fantastic. Global Atomics doing something very similar to Forces. It looks like we've got some support down here, a little bit below it. It may not pull back all the way. It might. Again, the short-term movements aren't as reliable. Here's the long-term, and this thing is absolutely ridiculous on this. I'm going to try doing some aggressive charting here. What I'm doing is I'm just tying the tops here. We've got an aggressive, an aggressive upward move here. And what I don't want to see is I don't want to see this contract up. I want to see it remain kind of like a channel, which we've got. But it's something like that. So we're going up in this channel, and I mean, that's an aggressive move. It's an aggressive trend. And here's Govix on the long-term chart, and I'll show you why I am an ultra bull on it. Right about there. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit where a lot more buyers and sellers are at. So what we did is we basically created a cup and handle. Here's the cup. Here's the handle. We broke out. We're coming back to back test here, retest. This is a good setup. This is probably going to make some good money, and I like buying these back test, retest areas back here. So I like it here. I like it. I like it a lot. And, you know, if we see 27.50, 28, 30 cents, it's good. Looks good. I think this chart looks fantastic on a long-term perspective. Here's Kier International Consolidated Uranium. I'm just going to throw a line in here. I'm gonna go where the support really is at, and that's where it's at. I know I cut some stuff off. Why did I cut that off? Hit, a lot of hits in here. It broke out. It came back to almost back test in this general vicinity. Broke out again, came back, broke down, and we're hitting our head on it a couple times again. And we got to break through here. If we break through this area, we're probably going to do a back test. Yes, it works like that. And then launch. This is our launching pad, everyone. This is the launching pad we want to launch from. I mean, look at this stair step. Higher lows all through here. This is a good chance here. We had a boom coming up, but we weren't ready yet. And now expansion phase, inflation's coming. It's game on, baby. So it's going to take some time, patience. All this stuff is coming. You got to get patience. Here is Gazettum. Notice the theme here. We're hitting these areas, and we're taking a little bit of time. I'm trying to just see here. Give it some time. We may come back a little bit and put a little bowl shape handle. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, is we're kind of making these handles go up and up and up. That's what that looks like. And here's our UROI. Go UROI. We love you, UROI. Guys, don't do that at home. That just doesn't sound good, right? Maybe something like that. I don't know. And let's see if we got anything on the bottom end here. Something like that, maybe. That looks ugly. Something like that. I don't know. Take this bottom line out. But that's what that looks like, kind of. This looks pretty good. It's got nice big buying pressure, small sell-off, another big buying pressure day, or week, I should say. This is a weekly chart. Looks good. Oh man, this thing looks fantastic. Guys, don't show me these long-term charts. You know what ends up happening? I end up buying more and more and more, because it just starts looking ridiculous to me on all these patterns and charts. So this is kind of what I'm seeing here. Got a lot of sideways buying and sellers back here, and we're trying to break through it. We're trying and trying and trying. We've got support underneath us here. That's what it looks like. So it looks good. You got support underneath. You've got some resistance above it. Now we're just trying to break through it. Paladin, this one looks really hard. I'm probably not going to chart this. Just looks too compressed. That one looks good too. Not much to really say on Boss here. You could draw another line going across up and down here. Well, the good thing that I like here is you got these big buying pressure days and then the small sell-off here. It's probably going to do another week down. You know, maybe one more week. we have left. It'll come up, come down, and then launch again. Here's Laramide. Go Laramide. I saw this chart not too long ago, and I got super bullish because I was looking at it, and this is what I saw. I saw this, and right here at about 0.2, I was like, I gotta get in. I bought a bunch here. We broke out. I bought again at 20-something cents on the hypothetical portfolio that we used to have too, that I can't log into anymore. I don't know why. And we're moving on higher, and this thing looks good. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find, we've got some resistance support through here. And you can see it right there. Coming up, hitting it, broke through, retest on the top of it, and probably the launch. That's what we're waiting for. Blue sky. God, every time I look at this chart, I don't know what it is. I think it's because if you look at it from a grandiose viewpoint here, this is kind of what I'm seeing, and hopefully you guys can see it. I almost see this chart here. It broke to the upside, came back, and when this thing can break through here, it's going to launch. But the chart itself, just looking at this big old pattern in the break to the upside and back test, it looks really good. And now, when you're looking at this, I'm trying to find, we're getting stuck here. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. We bounced here. We got some sellers. We hit before. We hit there. We hit there. We're trying to break through 28 cents-ish. We're getting stuck. That's what we're doing. We're getting stuck here. You just got to break through it. And that's what I have for today. I wanted to touch on some of these big picture views because that's what I look at. I look at the big picture, and the short term, I'm like, I don't care. I mean, honestly, I really don't care about the short term. I try to look at these big picture views, try to look at the bottom, see where things are getting stuck. And every time I see the big picture, the bigger picture view where we get these big patterns means we're going to move to the upside even larger. Bigger patterns, bigger moves. And the patterns in uranium are massive, absolutely massive. So I'm hoping that we could see some big moves here in uranium coming up probably over the next, we're probably going to start it in the next month or so. I still think we're in a consolidation phase. We're trying to find that bottom. We're trying to retest and kind of come down. And if you're on the channel and you're watching this stuff, you know those levels now. You know what you're doing. You can see it right here. I've just described it. And don't be afraid if we get a sell-off. If something comes down and people tried getting scared and it leaves a big wick at the bottom of a down day or a reversal day, don't let these days scare you. Be in control. And if you see the opportunity and you get a good price, it's up to you on what you want to do. But I'm a buyer here. I think this looks absolutely fantastic. These big long-term perspective charts, I own a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to continue to buy it because the charts look insanely good. I think we are still in the very early innings of a big move. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Get these updates. I do them on a daily basis. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.